So we're 1 week out of the big race, and I've been out in Hawaii for nearly 4 weeks. And yeah, I think I'm now finally at the point of feeling actually really quite excited to race. I think there'll be quite a lot of nerves a couple of days before the actual race. But yeah, I think now that I've actually put together a good block out here and I'm feeling quite fit again, because coming out to Hawaii, obviously hadn't done that much running at all. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go, so or how the general training would go. But yeah, I think I seem to have got to a good point now of put together a really good 4x4 day blocks out here. So yeah, the body's feeling good, fitness feels good. I feel fairly heat adapted now, and yeah, I think all of that frustration from not racing before, pretty much all year, I think that'll be quite good come race day, because I can just actually be really excited to race and really sort of grateful to actually be on the start line and able to race. So yeah, really looking forward to it. And I think it's probably the first year we've had in a long time where none of the big names have pulled out yet, touch wood. But I think, yeah, the last few years especially, I think most of the world champs, we've had at least one, if not 2, 3 people that have either pulled out with injury or illness. It seems like we're actually going to get everyone on that start line, which is really cool. My main goal is I really want to be able to put together a better race than last year. Last year I just had one of those days where I just felt rubbish all day. My swim was rubbish to start with, my power was then rubbish on the bike, and I just felt pretty useless on the run. So I'd like to actually be able to put together the kind of race that I think I can do based off my training. I think it's really hard out here to have proper position goals or stuff, because I think so much of it's so dependent on how everyone else races. Obviously some people will blow up, probably the conditions might change. Main aim is actually just get through the race, have a race that I can actually be proud of, see where that ends me up. 2019 was a good year. I had a good race, I won, it was nice. If I could repeat that success. It's quite interesting actually, because I think the wheels have developed quite a lot, I'd say, over the last 4 years in terms of the time that Parcours have actually managed to put into testing, and I think particularly around some of the sort of little things of different tyres to use and optimum tyre width, and some of the small, back in 2019 I was literally it's wheels, great, I've got some wheels to ride, they're fast wheels, it's nice. But it now feels like Parcours are on a similar level to a lot of the big wheel brands in terms of they've done loads of testing, they know what the faster tyres are, and they've actually been out here and they've tested different road surfaces, and they've put a lot of sort of time and effort into making sure their wheels are really good. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the Chrono deep section. I know some people like to not have a super deep front out here, but I'm quite good in the wind, so I can I can handle it, hopefully. But yeah, I think most years that I've raced here, I've had fairly deep front section wheels as well. So I'm just gonna go for it. I think this year the atmosphere is mainly different because there's not millions of people everywhere. Slightly different because I'm actually staying out of town a bit, whereas last year I was in town, so it was more obvious how many people were there. You'd go down to the pier and it's just hundreds of people. Whereas the couple of times we've been down to the pier, actually, it's not been too bad. So I think, yeah, it feels like a more manageable amount of people. Still actually feels like there's more people out here than I thought there would be, and there still actually seems to be quite a lot of men out here, obviously supporting some of the women. But it's still so far we're not into proper race week yet. So I think that'll be the real tell of how different is the atmosphere, because that's obviously the main week when the hype starts building. But actually I think in terms of from a social media perspective and the way that the locals out here have been reacting, actually very much feels like it's the world champs, people are getting excited for it. I was more worried that it was going to feel super quiet and not that hyped, but so far it's felt very much like a world champs build. I'm probably getting double the amount of sleep Yeah, a completely different prep this like compared to 2019. Like obviously 2019, I was an age grouper, still working like a pretty hectic job. So I was averaging maybe like 15 to 17 hours of training a week. I also broke my collarbone 12 weeks before, so I hadn't done very much swimming or running. Well, it took a little while to get back to the running, but yeah, I obviously was quite fit, but like it wasn't the perfect build that I was hoping for. So I guess similar in that way, in that this has also not been a perfect build. But yeah, like very different now. Like I'd say my last 4 weeks out here, I've been averaging probably up to like 30 hours a week. I'm getting way better sleep. Like I'm averaging about 8.5 hours a night sleep. Yeah, like I think just it feels very different as a pro, because you come out and you have various like media obligations and other stuff going on, whereas as an age grouper you can just come out and just enjoy it. But yeah, I think other than that, like it's a race, it's triathlon, it's a bit of swim, bike, run. The stakes definitely feel higher as a pro. Like it is, you've got sponsors that you kind of want to make proud, like fulfill your kind of side of the bargain, I guess, of you want to race well on their kit. Like for me, a lot of it is also the like self-justification of like I am a pro, so therefore like in my head like I should be good. And also like the amount of like blood, sweat and tears that you put into it. Again, it feels like you really want to be able to perform on that day, because that's the day it's kind of important. Yeah, I've gone quite deep. So I've decided to not go smaller on the front. I think some other parkour athletes will be running the like 60, I think it's the Strada at the front, but I'm just going Kona because I quite like the wind, I feel quite good in it, and yeah, why not, more speed. So yeah, I think the standard Kona is like 73-ish mils, give or take. Thankfully, I checked so I thought I'd been super organised coming out. I'd like set up race wheels with my race tyres, or what I thought were my race tyres. Went to check them the other day and I'd clearly had a blonde moment and put 32mm tyres on. So good thing I checked. So I've got some proper race tyres to put on. 28mm. Tubeless, I'll probably be running them about 70 psi. I'm going to redo them relatively soon, like relatively close to race day, because out here in the heat the sealant dries out quite quickly. So I'm going to yeah, probably just set them up properly like 2-3 days before, have a little ride on them, make sure they're all seated. I don't actually know what cassette I've got on the back.
That's fine.
But they probably don't care.
We won't put them too much.
So yeah, nice speedy wheels.